This video is all about renovation pruning. Sometimes when I get to somebody's garden and they've asked for help, they say, I've cleared all the old shrubs and things away for you. I thought you'd want a greenfield site. And my heart goes, oh no, because often old shrubs can be renovated and rejuvenated at with very little work and effort, and very quickly you have something quite special. Now, if you remember, we showed a video of this hedge. This is Phillyrea latifolia, and it's known as the evergreen olive. And it was much too high, and I wanted to get nice screening to really hide the vegetable cage. But now I think the brassica cage looks okay, and so I cut it down just to form a low boundary. And so we cut it right down to the ground. And when you're renovation pruning, that's basically what you do. And now with my hedge cutter, so my tools for renovation pruning, I often use this, which is my little pruner, which will go through things, I think, up to 75mm diameter, like a knife through butter. It's brilliant. Anything bigger, then I go for a little chainsaw. And then I use my loppers a fair bit as well, which are really wonderful if you prefer hand tools. And these will get through nothing up 75mm, but they'll do a good 50mm, I think, with a bit of ease. And then obviously secateurs. So I'm just gonna, and I've done this renovation pruning with many hedges. I remember in our very first house, we had an old mixed hedge at the bottom of the garden. It was maybe 50 years old plus. It was bare at the bottom. All the leaves were at the top, and I just cut it right down to about 6 inches above ground. And everyone thought, my God, she's wrecked the hedge. But at the end of the following growing season, it was up and bushy. And then what you do is you just clip it a bit higher each year. So the first year I just cut it at something like 1 metre, and then 1 metre and a bit, and so on, so that it got to form a nice bushy hedge. Because obviously in the first year after cutting back, you get masses of long shoots. Look at the new growth on this. You know, they've gone up to this high, and it was cut down at that high. That's 1 year's growth, and it's been really dry. Now obviously when you're hedge cutting, one thing you have to think of is nesting birds. And there's no birds nesting in this, I've checked. But you shouldn't cut in the nesting season, because obviously it would destroy their homes. So I'm just going to quickly do a bit of this, and then I'll show you what else. And then I just cut it along the top. Now at the end I've got a hornbeam. Right, so you can see I've got a new hedge basically. It's a different height, and I'll neaten it up later. Now obviously when you've got a very old hedge, so when I've done a yew hedge that's been maybe 100 years old, very bald at the bottom, almost back to trees, then I tend to do one side first, then the next year I do the other side, and then I might do the top. And that's quite a good approach, so you're not totally shocking the plant. And it's probably best to do it in spring. I find that the best. And then often you will water and feed or mulch after doing that. I haven't done anything to this because it's not that old, and it doesn't really need it. As you can see, it's pretty healthy growth. So let's go and look at something else that I've done renovation pruning with. So if you remember, these box hedges were just big shapes. And I pruned them right back. I took all the foliage off because they were obscuring the view out of this door into the garden. Now, box, like any hedging plant, basically, any hedging plant will respond to a very good hard prune. The only ones that don't are the fast-growing exotic conifers. So yew is one of the few conifers that does respond to very hard pruning, and we've often done that, even 100-year-old plus plants. Box likewise does. So I cut them really hard back, and now you can see they're pushing out on the growth. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create them so they've got two straight stems. That one's got one, and I'm just trying to decide whether to have one or two stems on that guy. And I think I'm going to leave it with two. So all I'm going to do is remove all the foliage up from the trunk, probably with my secateurs. And then I'm just going to, it's going to be a knobbly stem, but I don't mind that. And then I'm going to just clip the top. And the reason I'm clipping the top is because I want it to form a nice bushy round top. And if I just let it grow, it would be quite an open bushy top. So I'll remove all those with my secateurs. I won't bore you with that now, and then I'll just do a quick one. Now you might think this is a big hedge cutter to do quite small shapes, but I always find it's easier to get a neat ball. Not that I'm going to get much of a ball with this, with a big cut than with one of those little hedge cutters. So I'm just going to literally just strip off the sides, and then I'll do the same here. And then I'll do a bit by hand to neaten it up a bit, and then I'll do the same with this guy. And I would think in about 12 months we'll have some quite nice shaped things, and I'll try and even them up a bit. So I'll let that one go slightly bigger than that one, the actual ball bit. And really the only trees that you cannot renovation prune, or the only shrubs that you cannot do this with, is I tend to be very careful with lilac, because it's often grafted, and if you heavily cut a plant down to just within 6 inches of the base and it's been grafted, then sometimes it can make the rootstock zoom into life, which is not the thing that you want, and the scion, which is a bit that's grafted on the top, so the bit that makes it purple, white or whatever, it really gets a shock because of this heavy cutting back, and the rootstock comes to life and the scion dies out. So with something that's grafted, you just want to be a bit careful. People often say you shouldn't heavily prune magnolias, but I've spoken to really good magnolia growers who have a lot of them, and they say that they find that they do respond well to heavy pruning. So I don't think there are really any hard and fast rules. The locust next door, which it grew into a big shrub, so I thought, well, I'll cut it down. So I cut it right down to the ground, and as you can see now, it's quite a nice little multi-stem shrub. And I haven't done anything to it apart from cut it down. And I think it's a much better shape now than when it was massive. One of my early jobs when I started out was for a large international pet food company, and they had head offices not far from here, what they have. And they wanted me to redo this garden that they had. I was designing lots of different gardens for dogs, strangely enough, but and it had lots and lots of old shrubs in it, things like Philadelphias, forsythias. Some of them you wouldn't particularly want, but a lot of them were nice, and they were very old. They'd been there for 30-40 years. So I came in and renovation pruned the lot. I cut them all down to about 150 mil, and then they shot back up, and then you could thin out the shoots if you wanted to, make them into a better shape. But you immediately had young, vigorous growth, rather than old, rather scrappy shrubs, which we had before. And obviously, if you've got something like Philadelphus and you cut it in the spring, 10 to 1, you might not get flowers that year, because if it flowers on current year's flowering growth, then that's fine. But if it's flowering on the wood made the previous year, then if you cut it down in the spring, you're likely miss the flowering for that year, but that's 1 year's flowering, that's fine. You've got a really nice shrub as a result of it. So I'll just show you some other things that we've done heavy pruning to you, and just make sure that you don't remove things because they're unsightly, because you might well get a wonderful shrub from it if you just give it a heavy haircut. So here we've got a huge bay, a big bay. Now it was way, way bigger, and bay you can just cut to the ground. You can do anything with bay. It will always bounce back. But what I did, it does need a bit of cutting now, is I cut an alcove into it. So I found this seat on eBay, and then we've got a box either side and then the bay. So I've cut the alcove in it, and I'm going to actually have it with the bay coming out a bit here, so it's actually set into it. I think projects like this are fun to do because it's nothing you can buy off the shelf. It's something that's very easy to make yourself, and it looks quite different. This certainly looks quite different now, and it does need a good trim up. So if you've got some old shrubs in your garden, you pretty much can be sure that you can renovation prune them, best done in spring, and you'll have a lovely new specimen come a year or so, or even quicker than that. So try not to just think, well, let's rip it out. It's worth giving it a second chance, and you might be very nicely surprised.